You're busy. Customers are walking through your doors, the till's ringing, and at the end of the month, you look at your bank account and think, where the flippin' hell has all of that money gone? Now, this is one of the most common and the most painful situations I see so many independent store owners in right now. You've got busy shops, but you are still struggling financially. And if that's you, I want you to know something before we get anywhere today. It's not because you are doing something stupid or fundamentally wrong. It's because footfall and revenue do not automatically mean a healthy business. And once you understand why, you can actually fix it. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why busy independent retail shops still struggle financially, the 3 specific profit leaks that are draining your margins, and what you can do about each one starting this week. So stay with me, because if you run an independent store and you feel like you are working harder than ever, but you are not seeing it in your profits, this video is going to explain exactly why. Now, before we get into this, I just want to ask you something. Please drop me a comment right below this video and tell me, is your shop busy but your profit is still not where you want it to be? I read every single comment and I genuinely want to know how many of you are experiencing this. You might be surprised by how many others are in exactly the same position as you are. And if you are new here and you run an independent boutique or retail business, hit that subscribe button, because I post videos like this every single week. And right now, with costs rising and margins being squeezed left, right, and center, you need this type of information more than ever. So here's the mistake I see independent store owners make more than almost any other. They treat footfall as the answer. They think, if I just get more people through the door, everything else will be fine. More customers means more sales means more profit. Problem solved, right? Well, that logic only holds if your margin is healthy. Your stock is working very hard for your business and your customers are spending enough when they are in your shop. And for most independent stores right now, at least one of those 3 things is not happening as it should be. Now, I know this because I ran my own small business. I grew it from one shop that was genuinely struggling for years to multiple locations before eventually selling it. And I made literally every single mistake I'm about to describe to you. I've also now coached hundreds of boutique owners and independent store owners around the world. And the pattern is almost always the same, because busy does not automatically mean profitable. And understanding the difference between these 2 things is the single most important shift that you can make as a business owner. Now, I just want to mention something quickly here as well, because it is relevant to what we are about to uncover. I have got a course. It's called Boost Your Retail Sales in 30 Days. It is built around the 5 core areas that determine whether your shop is actually going to make money, not just take money. Everything I'm about to share with you in this video goes even deeper inside the course. I'll drop the link below this video so you can take a look. But first, let me show you exactly what is going wrong for most store owners that I come across. Profit leak number 1. Discounting and sales that erode your margins. Now, I'm going to start with the one that hurts the most because it feels like the right thing to do. When trade is slow or you need to start shifting stock, the instinct is to put on a sale. Drop the price, stick a sign in the window, get people in. And it works in the sense that people come in and they buy, but what actually happens to your margin? So here's a quick example that I see, right? Say you've got a product you bought for £15 and you'll start selling it for £30. Okay, well that's a 50% margin. Now you put that on a sale at 20% off. You are now selling it for £24. Your margin just dropped from £15 a unit to £9 a unit. You have just lost 40% of your profit on that product, just like that. And if that sale runs for 2 weeks across a big chunk of your stock, you have just done a lot of work for very little money. When I was running my own shops, I went through a period where I was running constant promotions. Always something on sale, always a reason for customers to wait before they went on to buy at full price. And what happened? My customers trained themselves to wait. They stopped buying at full price because they knew a sale was going to be imminent. I had created this problem myself. The fix is not to never run a sale. Sales have their place, especially for clearing dead stock that's not going anywhere. But a sale should be deliberate. It should be time limited and a strategic decision, not a default response to a quiet week. What you should be doing instead is working on the reasons that customers are not buying at full price. Is your shop clearly communicating the value of what you sell? Is your visual merchandising doing the job of making your products feel desirable? Are your team members confident at having conversations with customers that naturally lead to a sale? Those are the questions you should be asking yourself, not pulling out the discount sign because you think it will solve all of your problems. Profit leak number 2, dead stock is tying up your cash. Now, this one is deadly because it just sits there on your shelves or in your stock room, gathering dust, slowly strangling your business without you really realizing it. Dead stock is stock you have bought that is not selling, right? And the problem is not that it's just not selling. The problem is that the money you spent buying it is trapped. It's not in your bank account. It's not available to buy the things that your customers actually want. It's just sitting there. It's taking up space and it's costing you money in terms of the storage space it occupies, the time your team spends working around it, and the opportunity cost of the cash you could have spent better. Now, I've worked with one boutique owner. I'm going to call her Betty, though it's not her name, right? Betty had this gorgeous shop. It was really well presented. She was in a great location. She had a loyal customer base, but she was constantly cash poor. Every buying trip, she was stretching herself. She was putting orders on credit. She was feeling anxious. When we sat down and looked at her stock properly, she had thousands of pounds worth of product that had just been sitting on her shop floor for over a year. Some of it had never even made it onto the shop floor properly. It was just there, and it was eating her alive financially. The fix for dead stock starts before you buy, not afterwards. You need to understand what your sell-through rate is, how much of what you buy actually sells, how quickly and at what margin. If you do not know those numbers, you are buying your new products blindly. The other fix is being more decisive about clearing your dead stock before it becomes a bigger problem. A small markdown early costs you less than a massive clearance later. Clear it, free the cash, and buy better next time. Dead stock is not just a product problem. It's a buying problem. And it's a visibility problem because most store owners don't realize how much dead stock they are actually carrying until they look at their numbers properly. Now, if you want to go deeper in this, inside Boost Your Retail Sales in 30 Days, there are lessons that cover exactly why customers do not always connect with your products and how to present and position what you sell so more of it moves at full price. The link is in the description below this video. And if you're finding this useful, a like on this video would genuinely help me to reach more store owners who need it. It takes you 1 second and I promise you it will put a massive smile on my face. Profit leak number 3, low average transaction value. Now, this is the one that most store owners are not even thinking about. And it might be the most powerful thing that you can change because your average transaction value is simply the average amount each customer spends when they buy from you. And in most stores I look at, there is a significant gap between what customers are currently spending and what they could reasonably spend if the shop was doing its job properly. I want you to think about it this way. If your average transaction value is £35 and you get 50 customers a week, your weekly revenue is £1,750. If you can increase the average transaction to £45 without getting a single extra customer through your doors, your weekly revenue becomes £2,250. That's £500 a week more. Over a year, that's £26,000 in additional revenue from the same amount of footfall. Now, I'm not saying this is really easy, but I am saying it's possible. And the way that you get there is not by pressuring customers to spend more, feeling pushy or salesy. It's by making it natural and easy for them to discover the things they really want to buy. When I had my shops, one of the biggest things that made the difference was working on product pairing. When a customer picks up one product, what naturally sits alongside it? Not just physically on the shelf, but in the way your team talks about it. That goes beautifully with this. A lot of customers pick up both. These two go together and they make a great gift. This is simple language, not pushy, just being helpful. Signage is another part of this. Most stores massively underuse signage completely. Now, I don't mean just price labels, I mean signs that tell a story about a product, that suggest combinations, that answer the question the customer is asking themselves, which is, why should I buy this and what do I do with it? And then there is bundling. Creating combinations of products at a single price point that makes buying easier and make the value even more obvious. Bundles increase your average spend and they move even more stock in one purchase. Done well, they feel like a gift to the customer, not a sales tactic. The store owners who get this right are not busier than you. They are just making more money from the customers they already have. And in a market where footfall is still 15 to 20% below pre-pandemic levels, that matters enormously. Now, here's the myth I want to bust before we close. The myth is this: if I can just get more people through the door, my profits will sort themselves out. Now, I hear this constantly, and I understand why. More customers feels like the obvious answer. But here is what is actually happening when you focus only on footfall without fixing the underlying issues inside your store. You get more people in, but you've not fixed your margin, so you're still discounting. You have not fixed your buying, so you're still accumulating dead stock. You've not fixed your average transaction value, so people are still leaving without spending what they could have spent. You are now just doing even more of the same for the same disappointing result. You are just busier. The reason this myth is so persistent is that footfall is visible, isn't it? You can see people walking in. Your shop feels busier. It feels like you're making progress. Whereas margin, average transaction value, and your sell-through rates are simply numbers that you have to go looking for. They live in your accounts and your stock reports, not directly on your doorstep. But the store owners I see that are turning things around are not necessarily the ones with the most footfall. They are the ones who have stopped trying to fix a financial problem with a traffic solution and started looking at what is actually happening inside their business. So let's bring all of this together, because if your shop feels busy, but your profit is not where it should be, the answer is almost never just more footfall. It's about fixing the 3 leaks that we have covered today. Discounting that erodes your margin, dead stock that locks up your cash, and a low average transaction value that means you're underperforming with every customer that walks through your doors. Fix those 3 things and your business changes forever. Inside Boost Your Retail Sales in 30 Days, I go much deeper on this. Step 4 of the course has 3 full lessons on increasing what each customer spends, covering product pairing, bundles, and pricing psychology. There is also a full lesson on why customers don't always connect with your products and how to fix that. There are practical changes that you can make this week. The link is in the description below this video. And if this video was useful, please subscribe. I post videos like this every single week for independent store owners who want to build a more profitable business, not just a busier one. I hope you have a great day.